Hello, everyone, and welcome into Yelling from the Couch. I'm Brent Humphreys, joined by my co-host Gage, and you all know that we record this Thursday nights during NFL football. Well, we kind of delayed our recording for just a little bit because my Cincinnati Bengals, White Bengals, today faced the Pittsburgh Steelers. They hosted Pittsburgh, and what an exciting game it was, Gage, for Thursday night football. Bengals take the win 33-31. Gage, how you doing right now, man?
I want to scream. I want to jump out a window. Everyone said, oh, Steelers should have this easily. Steelers should have this easily. Yeah, well, there's such thing as a trap game. And the Steelers always fall for it. And now here we are, still 5-2, still first place in the AFC North. If Cleveland and Baltimore can go and lose this week, I'll still be feeling pretty good. 31 points scored by the Steelers. That's the second time this season they have scored 30-plus points. They are now 1-1 after scoring 30-plus points. The defense, nowhere to be found. There was no defense whatsoever. I would like to say by either team because both scored 30, but Cincinnati had the 2 interceptions on Rodgers, one before halftime and one on a deep ball that I think Aaron Rodgers just said, screw it, DK's down there somewhere, and it wasn't close to DK. Overall, though, I'm still feeling good. I mentioned to you, big play Darius Slay. Has not been big play Slay, at all this year. I was very excited to get him in the offseason, and it's not turned out well. The acquisition of Jalen Ramsey, I think, so far has been pretty good. I mean, he did get killed a little bit by T. Higgins, potentially on a game-winning drive that set up the game-winning field goal for Money Mac, but we won't talk about that. Ramsey overall has been good. Porter needs to stop with the penalties, even if there are some phantom penalties that are getting called. And the pass rush just needs to get the Flacco more. He threw a lot of screens, he threw a lot of slants, and he threw a lot of quick outs. You're not going to get much pressure when it comes to that. Pittsburgh's defense did get 2 sacks, but wasn't enough. Overall, though, like I said, still feeling good. But my question just flips to you. How are you feeling about Joe Flacco for the rest of the season?
Oh, man, I feel a whole lot better than I did the first half of the Packers game. I feel a lot better than I did last week when I come on this podcast ranting and raving that Flacco just ain't the guy. They made the wrong trade. They shouldn't have got Flacco. Feel a little bit better about Flacco right now. 42 yards, 3 touchdowns. Played really well. Found Jamar Chase several times. Found T. Higgins several times. And that's what they were wanting when they went out and got Joe Flacco. You wanted somebody that can get the ball into the hands of your playmakers, and that's what he's done the past 2 games. Now, he didn't do it the first half of the Packers game, did it the second half. If he would have done that in the first half of the Packers game, who knows what would have happened during, in that game there. But overall, I feel better about Flacco right now. Mm-hmm. Still a long season. They needed this win to stay in contention. Yeah. They got it. So the hopes are still kind of there for the Bengals to maybe be able to do something this season. Mm-hmm. And what got me going tonight, though, was, and I think this helped the passing game too, or maybe the passing game helped this. They opened up some running lanes for Chase Brown out there. And P. Ryan, had a few, even Flacco got some yards on one run. Chase Brown over 100 yards rushing for the first time this season. Mm-hmm. Really big step up, really needed for the rest of this offense. If they can start getting some more production out of that running game, I'll feel a whole lot better about this season.
Yeah, I mean, at first couple of drives for Cincinnati, Chase Brown was getting nothing. And I was like, all right, this is what I like to see. This is awesome. And then they slowly started to turn it around, and Chase ended up for over 100 yards. On the flip side, Pittsburgh's run game also was phenomenal. Like I mentioned, there was no defense whatsoever in this game. High scoring, lots of yardage, a lot of tight end usage as well. So it's going to be interesting come next week how both teams kind of go about the next matchups. I don't know. And then when Pittsburgh plays Cincinnati in Pittsburgh the next time, I don't know what the date for that game is, but when it happens, Pittsburgh might be looking for a little payback.
They very well could, and it'll be interesting. It'll be a good matchup to watch. I don't care what anybody says. People were talking about this was going to be a blowout, and like me and you talked off air here, they must not have watched very many Cincinnati-Pittsburgh games because these hardly ever end in blowouts. These are always nail-biters. Usually, rock 'em, sock 'em, tough it out games, grind it out. It wasn't this time. This was a shootout, but it was also a close game, very competitive. Come down to the end, of course, and Cincinnati just come out on the right side of it.
So the next game for the Steelers, next Sunday night against the Packers. That's going to be a tough match.
Gordon, he should be on this podcast next week to talk about it.
Yeah, he should be. I agree. And then the next game is the following Sunday against the Colts, and then you have the next Sunday night against the Chargers, and then you go to Sunday afternoon, November 16th, against Cincinnati. So not a lot of time to correct it, and you're also facing very difficult teams coming up here.
That is a rough schedule for Pittsburgh here coming up.
They needed to win this game because there's a tough stretch coming up, but obviously that ain't going to happen. And then the Bengals get a cakewalk of a schedule.
The Jets.
Yeah, you get the Jets next Sunday, and then you get the Bears the following Sunday, and then your bye week, and then the Steelers. Yeah. Jeez, talk about setting us up for failure.
This is good. I like this. Both teams really felt like they needed to win tonight. This right now is a 2-horse division. Baltimore, I believe, is done. Cleveland, they're done. Of course, they were done before it got started. Mike Tomlin's still not happy with the Browns trading Joe Flacco to the Bengals mid-season like that.
Yeah, and frankly, I'm not happy with it either. Look how it turned out.
That may be a reason why. And Gordo sent me a stat while ago. I'm not sure if this is right or not. I haven't really checked it out yet or not. But Mike Tomlin 0-7 now on Thursday night games. Is that true?
I mean, it feels right. Since when, though? Because it feels like, he's been in the league for, 18 years probably. I think he's had more Thursday night games than just 7.
Yeah, maybe he's a little off on that. I don't know. But that's not a good stat there for Thursday nights. Doesn't have enough time to prepare, maybe, and I don't know.
I'm assuming this is before tonight. It's a 9-11 record.
On Thursday night?
Yes.
Okay. Maybe it's against divisional opponents. I don't know. Maybe there's some stat out there that's 0-7 maybe. Or maybe Gordon's just making up stuff and I'm just spewing them out here on the podcast. But hey, it's whatever.
This could be one here. Blah, 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 yeah, blah, blah, blah. The Steelers have never won a Thursday night road game against a divisional opponent.
That's what it is.
The Steelers have played a total of 8 divisional Thursday games on the road in franchise history before tonight. And they've gone 0-8 in those games, which includes 0-6 under Tom.
Oh, so he was right. That's where he got his 0-6. Now it's 0-7. Yep. So, yeah. All right. So, apologies to Gordo for maybe calling him out on here when he was right. So,
look at Gordon's stat checking.
Look at that, man. Bringing all kinds of stuff to this podcast here. But, yeah, so a really good Thursday night game. A great Thursday night game. Awesome Thursday night game. Bengals get the win. What a wonderful Thursday night game it was, Gage. Just incredible. Incredulous, stupendous, awesome game for sure.
Oh, really? What was it? Let's get to the records from last week.
Well, we will get to the records, but before we do, let's tell you that this episode of Yelling from the Couch is brought to you by Dubby Energy. If you're tired of feeling like a preseason backup halfway through your day, it's time to get in the game with Dubby.gg Energy. The clean energy drink made for gamers, athletes, and sports junkies like us. No sugar, no crash, no jitters, just pure focus and energy to get you through those late-night film sessions, long editing days, or Sunday afternoon meltdowns, or Thursday night meltdowns, when your team blows a 10-point lead. They've got flavors like s'mores, tiger blood, and my favorite, Grandpa's denture water. And they all hit harder than a linebacker on 4th and goal. Go to W.GG and use promo code YELLING. That's YELLING to get your 10% off your order today. Be energy. Be better. Be Dubby. And use our promo code, which will be in the description for this video. And you'll get 10% off at checkout.
I can't help but feel that ad read was somehow directly directed at me.
I don't know what you're talking about, Gage. So our picks for last week. Week 6, Gage went 7-7, 500. I went 10-4. Gordon went 11-3. Gordo, man, if it wasn't for the Monday night games, Gordo or the Browns, he picked the Browns too. He would have been undefeated if he didn't go the Browns over Steelers.
In my defense, I would have had a better record if he would have went Steelers over Browns, because then I would have went Packers over Bengals, and we'd all be happy.
So overall, I'm 57-29-1. Stupid Cowboys and Packers. Gage is 50-36-1, and Gordon's 52-34-1. Gordo has passed Gage now on the pick'em. So
yeah, I need to stop with some of these stupid picks, because some of them I feel like are just homer picks.
I say this every week. I need to stop with my stupid picks. And then I go out and I'm like, you know what? I think that the Bengals will beat the Broncos. But now I feel better about it. But with Jake Browning, so that was kind of weird. But hey.
I hope the next Steeler-Bengals game, Jake Browning is the starter.
I hope not. I hope not. Maybe Mason Rudolph will be the Pittsburgh starter then.
Mason Rudolph, there's just Jake Browning. All right, I'm still in favor of the Steelers.
Yeah, you're right there. Man, can we have Logan Woodside midseason?
Sure, you guys can have Logan Woodside midseason.
So Gage, that'll lead us into our next segment, the popular segment here on the show, and that would be...
From turf to tears, it's injury fears. Who's sidelined this week in Gage's fantasy sphere?
So not a lot going on, which is very good. I'm sitting at 2-4. I won last week by 2 points, thanks to Amon-Ra having 9 catches and the Detroit Lions defense not showing up. Starting out, injuries, Lamar Jackson still out, but he's on a bye, so that's really not affecting the team this week. We still have Aaron Jones on the IR. I would like to know when this guy's going to get activated because I kind of need the running backs. As it was pointed out in the YouTube form version of this segment, that I should have lost. Travion Henderson is trash. And frankly, I agree. I wholeheartedly agree with you that he sucks. So we went to the waiver wire this week and we were looking around, we were scrolling, we were prowling. I sent the scouting agents out to see who exactly should we pick up to help try to turn this team around. And I landed on a guy who is starting this week for me over Nick Chubb, over Travion Henderson. Let's go out to LA with the Chargers. Heading up against the Indianapolis Colts defense, we got Kamani Vidal. Picked him up. Understand, it was against the Dolphins defense last week. But he had 22.8 fantasy points, 18 attempts for 124 yards, 3 catches on 4 targets for 14 yards and a touchdown. If I would have had that in my lineup, boy, would I have been so much happier. And back to the injuries, we got CeeDee Lamb, who is expected to play, but he's still tagged as questionable. So still, I assume, up in the air. And then a new one added to the list this week with a knee/toe injury. Jacoby Myers. To be fair, really feels like he hasn't been playing all season, but he is now questionable. I expect him to play. Offensive coordinator Chip Kelly previously noted that he expected Myers to return to work Thursday, but he did not. So kind of questioning there. Could be looking at a handcuff to see maybe if Jacoby's out, maybe do I go and pick up someone that'll take place. But there's a couple names here that I'm not really too sure. Jake Beck, Dante Thornton, or Alex Bachman. I'm not willing to take a chance on either of those people. I will run with Ted McMillan, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and CeeDee Lamb. On my bench, running back-wise, Travion Henderson. Get over there. You have an 11.54 projection at the Tennessee Titans. Titans aren't that good of a defense, and I still don't trust Travion. And then we also got Nick Chubb coming back from the bye, 9.44 at Seattle. I just don't trust Nick Chubb, and I don't trust that offense enough to start him. So we got Zach Charbonnet, which, frankly, I don't trust him either, and Kamani Vidal going. So not a long list, but a lot happened on the team this week.
Nice. The only thing I've got to report on mine is I had Cam Scatterboo, decent week, and I had Bijan Robinson as my running back. So really didn't need a whole lot else after that in that, so.
You probably could have benched everyone else and been just fine.
Probably could have just had what some people do and like, guy's been on IR for 6 weeks and he's still your starting wide receiver. That's cool. Bet you'll win that one. But yeah, so not a whole lot injury-wise, which is a good thing there. Will the Cowboys use CeeDee Lamb as a running back this week? Let's hope not.
I'm surprised I didn't see DK Metcalf line up at fullback tonight. So, hey, anything can happen.
Why not? And so before we get into our picks, I want to go over a few little news and notes here from last week. And let's start out with the Titans, the Tennessee Titans, firing head coach Brian Callahan, former Cincinnati Bengals offensive coordinator, fired the week that Mike Vrabel and the New England Patriots come back into town. Kind of odd timing to be firing him, right?
Yeah, kind of like, seems kind of weird here, but you can't tell me that was not done on purpose. You're down in the dumps as a team. Why fire him now? It doesn't make much sense. Besides, the Patriots are going to come into Tennessee and mop the floor. with the Titans, and Titans fans are probably going to be a little extra loud about it. And now Brian Callahan doesn't have to take the brunt of it. Titans fans, though, I know are pretty happy to lose against the Raiders and have their head coach fired. I think it was a win week for them, even if they did lose.
Yeah, it was. I mean, Brian Callahan was never the answer there, but this right here, firing him the week that your old coach comes into town, just proves that you all made the wrong decision by firing Mike Vrabel to begin with.
Yes.
And you're just admitting it in a roundabout way. Yeah, we screwed up there. Maybe they're going to try to talk him back. When you come back here in Nashville, you could just stay. We'll just keep you here. Can we just do that, please? Maybe that's what they're going to try. I don't know. Be strange. Yeah, Callahan fired. First head coach fired this year in the NFL. It was due.
Absolutely was due. But also thinking about it, like, I don't think Callahan was set up for much success. You took a quarterback number 1 overall right there. I think you're admitting we're in a dump right now, and we don't expect anything to happen this year. The previous quarterbacks that were drafted number 1 overall, Cam Ward, Bryce Young, Trevor Lawrence, Joe Burrow, none of those guys really lit it up their rookie year. I think Joe Burrow out of that list is the only one that has actually had a good career. I'm also just looking around to see if there's any other ones. I think, was Baker Mayfield number 1 overall?
Yep.
He was.
2018. Kyler Murray was number 1 overall.
Yeah, so there's a couple guys here that's like, oh, okay. Well, what's going to happen when Cam Ward leaves Tennessee? Because at this rate, the guy probably already wants out. Is he going to have a Baker Mayfield type of situation? He goes to Carolina, and they use him as a practice squad defensive guy. And then he goes to the Rams and wins his first game on a short week. It was like 48 hours or whatever he had to learn the playbook. And then he goes to Tampa Bay and is currently the MVP frontrunner.
Definitely.
Or is it going to be like a Zach Wilson type of career where, well, where's Zach Wilson now? Exactly.
Nobody knows.
Yeah. I don't think Cam Ward or Brian Callahan were set up for success for this year. Cam Ward, though, he still has a job.
Yeah, and Brian Callahan doesn't. I'm sure somebody will give him a shot as an offensive coordinator somewhere. I just hope it's not the Bengals again. So after Sunday night's game, the Detroit Lions fall to the Kansas City Chiefs, and there was a little scuffle afterwards. Brian Branch punches JuJu Smith-Schuster and gets suspended for a game. Is JuJu still that unlikable? I know he was unlikable in Pittsburgh doing the TikTok dances on the logos before the games, but he's been kind of quiet lately, but man, Branch is not a fan of him.
Apparently not, and I'm confused. What happened? I don't understand why Brian Branch did it. According to some quotes here, Colts linebacker Zaire Franklin said JuJu needed whooped, and that's why Brian Branch went after him. I don't get it, because now you're suspended a game.
Yeah, that hurts your team.
Yeah, and the Lions defense, let's be honest, isn't that good anyways.
No.
So why would you do that? Not too sure. Pretty confused. Yeah, it's just...
Yeah, very odd. And for it to be against the Chiefs in prime time like that, everybody's watching. So everybody's seeing what's going on there. But yeah, it's crazy. I didn't know JuJu was still getting that kind of heat around the league, but obviously still is.
I haven't seen him post anything on social media wise as far as dancing. I don't know.
Former Kentucky Wildcat defensive end Za'Darius Smith retires mid-season. Kind of a little bit of a shocker when I heard it the other day. But I guess he hasn't played a whole lot this year either. But yeah, mid-season retirements doesn't happen very often.
No, but I wonder if a lot of it has to do with like, hey, the Eagles, we don't feel real good right now. I feel like playing for this team that likely isn't going to go and get a Super Bowl. Trade me. Oh, you're not going to trade me? All right, then bye. I quit.
Yeah, I'm done. I've had my time.
Yeah.
Well, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, just interesting to see a player retire mid-season on a, early season Super Bowl contender. So Tua Tagovailoa, after the game the other day, calls out leadership and calls out players for not coming to players-only meetings. Gage, what do we think about Tua? What leadership is he calling out? Is he calling out the players that are leaders? Is he calling out Mike McDaniel? Is he calling out the GM? Is he calling out the owner?
I'm not really too sure, because I feel like as a quarterback, you're meant to be the leader. Unless you're the only excuse you have is being a rookie. Tua's not a rookie. He's been in this league for a while. Now, the amount of CTE that he has, he might have forgotten that. There's a good chance he forgot that. But if you're calling out player leadership, Tua, that starts with you. And that's not going to the media and being like, yeah, no one's showing up for player-only meetings. No one's showing up for team meetings. I don't know what the hell's going on here, but, hey, no one's showing up for meetings. And then he kind of backtracks it. Later in the week, it was like, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that. I forgot what was happening, stuff like that. And I don't know, because obviously in the heat of the moment, you say stuff that you really mean. I think Tua really meant it, and it's not a good look for the Dolphins.
No, not a good look at all. They are in shambles down there, and I think Mike McDaniel's probably the next coach on the chopping block in the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, I thought he should have been on the chopping block last year, and he really wasn't. So I'm not too sure if they'll ever fire him.
Yeah, well, it'll be interesting to see because the Dolphins they've got the talent down there, but man, I don't know. It doesn't seem like they're working very hard. It doesn't sound like it, at least.
Yeah, but someone who I haven't heard of from the Dolphin squad this year? Good old Minkah
Fitzpatrick, former Pittsburgh Steeler.
Yeah, 2-time Dolphin.
Yeah. So the next thing I want to talk about here, the touchdown celebration from Tez Johnson last week was spectacular.
I agree with Baker. If I was 145 pounds and could fly, I would absolutely do that too. But I don't know. Like, it looked like a trick that should be done on a skateboard.
Yeah.
I mean, the dude flipped, did a spiral. Professional wrestling fans, it looks like a spiral tap finisher move to me from the top rope, the way that he spun. Props to you, dude. Doing it in full football gear, too. But think about it the other way. If he doesn't land that.
How embarrassing.
How embarrassing. And there's a chance he lands on his neck.
Yeah. And his career is over just like that after his first career touchdown pass.
You score your first career touchdown, and then bam, on season-ending IR, probably life-ending IR.
Man, that would have been bad. And I don't know if you caught after it was over with, they were chanting MVP, for Baker. Tez Johnson thought they were chanting MVP for him, his first touchdown catch. When he realized that it wasn't for him and it was for Baker, his teammates all had found out that he thought it was for him. They give him a pretty rough time around it there. But, yeah, I thought that was pretty funny.
Oh, I thought it was funny, too. He goes over to the sideline and it's like, MVP? I didn't even do anything.
Yeah. And he really thought they were cheering for him.
Yeah, I don't know who it was, but someone told him, dude, that's for Baker. And he's like,
I feel stupid now. But, yeah. So, yeah, that's just a few things I want to touch on before we get into the picks there. And now we might as well go ahead, Gage, and let's get started with the picks. And let's go ahead and get it going here, and it is the Rams and the Jaguars at 9:30 a.m. on the NFL Network, live from London. The Rams are a 2.5-point favorite. Gage, this surely is going to be a better London game than last week's London game, right? We're going to give them something this week, right?
I really hope so. To be fair, I don't know if you can get much worse than that. If both quarterbacks have positive passing yardage, I think London wins this week. Rams-Jaguars, first of all, on paper, not a pretty game. Actually, probably a very boring game. But I've got to say, I'm impressed with Liam Cohen and what he's been able to do with this Jaguars team. And the Rams, you're looking at it, Puka's probably not playing this week. Do you get Tutu Atwell back? I think you do. That'll help out a little bit. But after that, who's wide out too? Jordan Whittington? He had good time last year and when Puka was hurt. But I don't know if it's enough. So with that being said, give me the Jaguars in this one. We're going an early upset, but it's not the upset pick of the week. I don't know the spreads for the rest of the games, but it's not the upset pick of the week. Give me the Jaguars in this one, and obviously being the underdogs, give me the points.
2 weeks ago, Jacksonville faces Kansas City on Monday Night Football. They beat Kansas City. Trevor Lawrence falls down 17 times, gets up, still runs in for a touchdown. And then last week, we all, I'm pretty sure, picked Seattle on the road against Jacksonville to beat them because we could see this was a letdown game, and it was a letdown game. Jacksonville did not play very well last week, but like you said, I liked what Liam Cohen said afterwards. He said, we've got to fix this, and he said, we will fix this. And I kind of believe him because I think he's a really good coach, actually. He was really good offensive coordinator, and so far he's got Jacksonville playing. I mean, he's got Trevor Lawrence playing pretty good. I mean, he might not look like a number one pick, but he looks a whole lot better than what he did in the previous administration there. The Rams, on the other hand, last week beat the Ravens 17-3. Ugly game, 3-3 most of the time. Puka went out early in the game. They really couldn't get much going on offense. Is Devontae Adams playing? Maybe that's an option at wide receiver.
Completely forgot about him. It feels like no one's really talked about him.
Yeah, he's made a few catches and stuff, I think, but nothing spectacular or anything.
He played games this season, but he has 26 catches for 396 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Yeah. So, I mean, that may be the option for Stafford. But I think I'm going with you here on this one. This is kind of a home game for London or for the Jaguars, right? Their second home away from home.
Yeah.
Give me the Jaguars in this one. I think that they win, and of course they cover. Gordo has the Rams in this one. Bringing it back for this week. Fun fact for this game, the Rams and the Jaguars, the Jacksonville Jaguars are playing their 14th season straight game in the UK.
Oh, dang.
Fun fact. So we'll go on to our next matchup, and we'll head to Sunday, and that is the Las Vegas Raiders travel to Kansas City to face the Kansas City Chiefs at 1 o'clock on CBS. Kansas City is a 12.5-point favorite. Gage, what do you think?
I'll start this off by saying I have mixed feelings about this game. Past couple seasons, we've seen how the Raiders are. They could be down in the dumps with Aiden O'Connell at quarterback, and they'll somehow turn around and beat Kansas City. But Kansas City's kind of on fire right now. And they get Rashee Rice back this week.
Yeah.
I mentioned this, I think, 2 weeks ago on the podcast. How long until Kenny Pickett starts at quarterback for the Raiders? Because Geno Smith, I mean, if you're going to put a bet in, any bet at DraftKings, 1+ interception for the opposing defense, or, if you want to get player specific and you get more money, probably a corner. But the way that Geno's been playing, it's not been pretty. And I've talked about it before on here that accurate quarterback in the past, not accurate at all this season. Even coming off a 20-10 victory, it was against Tennessee. It's in Arrowhead. It's Chiefs Kingdom going to be there. They're going to be loud. 12.5 points. Give me the Chiefs in this one, and give me them to cover as well.
Yeah, the Chiefs are starting to look scary once again, like they have. First bit of the year, they didn't look very good at all. But that was Xavier Worthy was out, and then he came back. They looked a little bit better. But last week against the Lions, they look like the old Chiefs. Travis Kelce out here catching all kinds of passes, getting all kinds of yards. The running game got going a little bit more than what they have. Rashee Rice is coming back, which should be a big deal. It may take him a couple games to get going. Man, Hollywood Brown out here having good games. JuJu Smith-Schuster, playing so well that he's pissing the defense off. I mean, they've got everything going over there in Kansas City. So I don't think that they drop this game to the Raiders right here. Maybe later in the season. Maybe when Kenny Pickett comes in. Maybe that's when that happens. I don't know. 12.5 is a lot, but I think Kansas City actually covers this one. I got Kansas City winning this one too. Give me the Chiefs. And Gordo also was riding with the Chiefs. Fun fact, Sunday's game, Kansas City will celebrate its international fan base with festivities called Kingdom Heard Round the World.
Ooh.
So there's a fun fact. And now for a fun game. The Miami Dolphins travel to Cleveland to face the Cleveland Browns at 1 o'clock on CBS. Cleveland is a 2.5-point favorite. Gage, what do we think about this game right here?
The first thing that I want to point out is last week, Cleveland's run game on offense, non-existent against the Steelers defense. Quinshon Judkins, I think, averaged 3 yards a carry. He had been very good up until last game, but we've seen how the Dolphins' defensive line is against running backs. Kamani Vidal goes off. Rico Dowdle goes off. I think Quinshon Judkins just adds to that this week. Dylan Gabriel, however, they asked a lot of him last week. The guy threw 52 times in the game. You probably shouldn't be asking your rookie quarterback, who wasn't the starter at the beginning of the season, to throw for 52 times in the game. But his main target, Harold Fannin, I think I mentioned him as my breakout player of the year when we were doing the season previews, and it looks like he's starting to build on it. I think by the end of the season, Fannin will be tight end number 1, and Njoku will take a back seat to him. And I think Cleveland's going to pick up the win here against Miami. Give me the Browns in this one, and give me them to cover as well.
As we mentioned earlier, Miami is in turmoil right now with two players not showing up to practices, team-only meetings, leaderships doesn't know what they're doing, apparently, according to Tua. Tyreek Hill's out for the season. Jalen Waddle out here posting stuff on Instagram that he hasn't posted anything that wasn't a sponsored tweet since last November, and now he's posting stuff. I don't know what's going on down in Miami, and I don't think they do either. The Browns, on the other hand, Dylan Gabriel, like you said, threw 52 times last week. It's a little bit much for a rookie quarterback against a Pittsburgh team. His first week, he didn't look too bad overseas in London. But that defense is still, I know they give up 23 to Pittsburgh, but Pittsburgh's got a pretty good offense, as we've seen this season. I mean, they do. But that defense is still really good for the Browns. The Dolphins got some weapons to make some stuff happen, but I don't think they do this week. They're in a tailspin. I think it continues this week. I think the Browns win. I think the Browns cover. Give me the Browns. Gordo also has the Browns in this one.
Man.
Fun fact.
I was just going to say, I can't believe we're like high on the Browns at all. After saying this a couple weeks ago, I don't care who the Browns face. We're never going to pick.
And here we are. That just shows how bad Miami is right now that we're doing this, because both teams are 1-5 right now. 1-5. But the fun fact, Cleveland is on pace for one of the lowest point totals in the 21st century with just 82 points through 6 games. Yikes. Our next matchup, and this is intriguing right here, the New England Patriots travel to Tennessee to face the Tennessee Titans at 1 o'clock on CBS. The Patriots are a 6.5-point favorite. Gage, it's a Mike Vrabel homecoming. How do you think this is going to turn out?
Yeah, we already talked earlier about the Brian Callahan firing, and thinking about it, kind of gave my pick away when I was talking about it. The Patriots are going to go into Tennessee. They're going to mop the floor of the Tennessee Titans. They're going to easily cover that spread. Give me the Patriots. Give me the points. Mike Vrabel, you get your revenge, my friend.
Yeah, so this game right here, I mean, this is one right here, like we said a while ago. This is just basically admitting that we may have screwed up here. So, yeah, maybe they're going to try talking back. Do you think so? I don't know. No, I don't think so.
They're going to be shaking hands after the game and just be like, Mike,
please come back, Mike. Please come back. You don't want to be up there anymore. You want to be back home. This is home. But I think that the Patriots come and win. I think that they cover this easily. I think Mike Vrabel's going to really want to stick it to him. Say, hey, look, you fired your coach before I come back into town because you knew you screwed up when you let me go. I think that they win. I think they cover. And the fun fact that I have for this one, the Tennessee Titans have replaced Brian Callahan with interim coach Mike McCoy. Historically, interim head coaches are 6-17 in their first game versus a team with a winning record, often losing by a touchdown or more.
Oof.
Yeah, so that doesn't sound too good, does it? Gordo also has the Patriots.
All right.
The next matchup, the Carolina Panthers travel to Jersey to face those New York Jets at 1 o'clock on Fox. Carolina's a 1.5-point favorite. Gage, usually when they come back from overseas, don't they get a bye week? What's up with this? Why are they screwing the Jets over for?
Usually you do, but I think the NFL schedule makers are just like, it's the Jets. They're screwed over from week 1, so it doesn't really matter when we give them their bye. We could just give them all 17 games and then put the bye week 18. It's not like they're making the playoffs anyways. At the Jets, we talked about it. They're coming off a horrible game to where Justin Fields had negative passing yardage net-wise. He took 9 sacks. He had as many completions as he had sacks as well, which not a good look. Tyrod Taylor, he might be getting his helmet all shined up nice and shiny to be the starter, or at least get some playing time, because right now I don't know what the Jets are doing. And the Jets don't know what the Jets are doing. But I have to wonder if they look at it and go, you know what? We could have had our MVP Hall of Fame quarterback back. We could have had Aaron Rodgers back. But no, we wanted to go a different way at quarterback. Well, you went a different way at quarterback, and you actually went down at quarterback as well. The Panthers, they're coming off a big win against Dallas, 30-27. Who knew this offense was alive and awake? I didn't. But Rico Dowdle, I think, has been the spark that, for whatever reason, the Panthers have needed. I'm going to take the Panthers in this one. I'm also going to take them to cover.
Yeah, Carolina's won 2 straight games, both of them at home. When they're away from home, they're a different team than what they are at home. They're on the road this week, but it's against the Jets, so I feel a lot better about it. If it was against another team, I may be like, you know what, maybe not. But also during that 2-game streak, they used to have Chuba Hubbard being the running back, and now you got Rico Dowdle in there, who has been awesome the past 2 weeks. He's had 389 rushing yards the past 2 games, 200 yards the week before last, like 183 yards last week. Crazy stats right there. He wanted the Cowboys to remember his name, and I think Jerry Jones is going to remember who he is now after that. I don't know, but the Jets, they're just awful. How many passing yards did Justin Fields have like in the first half last week? It's -10.
I believe it was -10.
Something awful like that. So I'm going to go with the Panthers in this one. I think the Panthers win. I think the Panthers cover. And the Jets there's not much hope for them right now at all. Nothing.
It's crazy. You and I had more passing yards than Justin Fields did last week.
Yeah, and I didn't even get up off the couch.
Nope. I was yelling from it.
Yeah, yelling from it. And so I'd heard a quote from Breece Hall, I guess, earlier in the season that he was talking about the Jets. Have you heard this one? He said, most people take a shotgun blast to the feet. He said, we've been taking them to the head. So people shoot themselves in the foot. He said, we shoot ourselves in the head. My fun fact for the week, Justin Fields sacked 9 times in London. The Jets have now allowed 25 sacks over 6 games. That pace they're on right now would break the 2002 Texans all-time record for a full year. Yeah. So the Panthers could be ready to tee off on it.
I mean, I could be wrong, but I feel like when Fields was in Chicago, he was also taking a lot of sacks. I don't know if we had this conversation or if I had it with someone else, but it was like Fields is taking a lot of sacks in Chicago. Like, oh my gosh, his offensive line sucks. Offensive line play is not great with the Jets, but what's the common denominator here? Justin Fields.
Yeah, strange, isn't it?
Yeah.
So our next matchup we'll go to here, and speaking of the Chicago Bears, the New Orleans Saints travel to Chicago to face the Chicago Bears. 1 o'clock on Fox. Chicago is a 4.5-point favorite at home. Gage, they're coming off of a big victory on Monday night in Washington. What do you think about this game here?
We're going to do it. We're going to – I know I said no more stupid picks. This might be the stupid pick. I might change it from the underdog pick of the week to the stupid pick of the week. It's not nearly as much as I expected it to be. Just looking at the games, I expected 7-8 points maybe. No context, no detail. Give me the Saints as the underdog pick of the week. They're going to go into Chicago. Spencer Rattler is going to continue his quietly good season. Yeah. But let's be honest, Spencer Rattler has not bitch. Hold on. Oh, that's broke. You can keep that in. I don't care what you do with that one.
Right.
That is a short. Let's talk about Rattler.
Yeah.
Rattler has been very good. I think he's going to continue it. Saints defense kind of sucks. So they need to contain like DJ Moore, DeAndre Swift a little bit. But if they do that, give me a Saints victory here.
Yeah, the Saints have been playing pretty good the last few weeks. We've laughed, we've mocked, we've like, what does the Saints even have? Alvin Kamara, why are they wasting Alvin Kamara down there? Do something with him. You even mentioned maybe Pittsburgh should go after Chris Olave. Maybe they'll go after Rashid Shaheed. I mean, maybe so. But they've played pretty good lately, and Spencer Rattler has not been too bad, actually, surprisingly. Chicago, the other day, they go into Washington. They get a huge win. This would be a perfect spot for a letdown. I thought about going with the Saints, too, here in this one, but I'm going to roll with Chicago. I think Chicago wins this one, continues their momentum. Saints are on the road. I just think, Spencer Rattler's probably going to have a key turnover here at the end of this game. Saints will keep it close, though. But I think the Bears win. I think the Bears ultimately cover. Gordo also has the Bears with a puke emoji beside it because he's a Packers fan. So, fun fact for this one, Gage, this may change your mind. The Saints have won 7 consecutive regular season games against the Bears. Their longest active streak versus any team. Chicago's last victory in the series came back in 2008.
I think that should change your mind, not mine.
It's time for the streak to be broken.
No. We are not. Listen.
Caleb Williams is going to be the 1-7-1 against the Saints.
I was going to make a streak reference, too. All right, never mind. You can have that joke. It's fine.
Just to the punch. Our next matchup. Those Philadelphia Eagles travel to Minnesota to face the Minnesota Vikings at 1 o'clock on Fox. Philly is a 1.5-point favorite on the road. Gage, was there a meeting last week between the 3 stars at A.J. Brown's car? Was there not a meeting at A.J. Brown's car? What is going on with them? Is there a players-only meeting here? Are they skipping out on them too? Is leadership screwing up here too like in Miami? Or what is going on with Philadelphia? You got Za'Darius Smith retiring mid-season? What's going on here? What do we think about this team and about this game?
I wish I knew what was going on. There's not much to think right now about this Eagles team besides for it feels like 2023 all over again with them.
Yes.
They have weapons. They got Saquon. You have A.J. Brown, Dallas Goedert, and Devonta Smith. There's no reason Jalen Hurts should not have 275-plus each game and a few touchdowns. Like, they should be airing this ball out. I think I mentioned before when we were doing the season preview that Saquon was ran a lot last season. It's almost starting to show. He almost seems a little bit slower. Maybe like he can't move as good. But the guy took how many hits last year? Like, good grief. And then you have Will Shipley. You traded for Tank Bigsby here a couple weeks ago. Spell the guy. I like Will Shipley. I think he's a good running back. I like Tank Bigsby. I think he's a good running back. But they have nothing going for him right now. The Vikings side of things, it depends what Carson Wentz shows up. Or is it J.J. McCarthy this week? I think it's Carson Wentz. I'm not really too sure.
McCarthy's close, I think.
McCarthy's close. I'm riding with Carson Wentz, though, as the starter. This kind of a revenge game, kind of not. It's kind of not the narrative. I guess because it's in Minnesota, I guess you could look at it as, gosh, this is kind of a toss-up. But I'm just gonna take the favorite here. Give me Philly to win it, and I'm gonna take them the covers.
Yeah, so the drama, all the talk so far this past few weeks, like you said, it's feeling like 2023 once again, and that season did not turn out good for Philly. I believe they got off to a real hot start and just fell completely apart. They were like 10-1, I think. Didn't do anything at all. And then next year they went and got Saquon, went to the Super Bowl. But A.J. Brown's peeping up again. Like, hey, I want my stuff. Whatever. Minnesota coming off of a bye. Carson Wentz has played decent in a couple of games. And then he's also winced some things up. Jefferson, he's found him pretty good. He's, still Justin Jefferson. It's kind of like you could just throw Justin Jefferson out there with just about anybody, and he's going to do some stuff. Mm-hmm. This should be a toss-up game, like you said. I think Minnesota will no, I'm going to take Minnesota in this one. Give me Minnesota to beat Philly once again this week. Vikings defense is still really good. Gordo's got the Eagles. My fun fact for this one, Philadelphia's offense has not been good this year so far. Saquon Barkley has failed to reach the 90-yard rushing mark in all 6 games this year.
Woof. Rough.
Who would have thought that at the beginning of the season? Nobody. Speaking of a fun matchup here, the Indianapolis Colts travel to L.A. to face the L.A. Chargers at 4:05 on CBS. The Chargers are a 1.5-point favorite. Gage, who are we liking this one?
I'm liking Indiana Jones to keep up the pace here. It's going to be a good game, though. I said at the top of the show that, Cincinnati and Pittsburgh might have been game of the week already. I think this has the opportunity to be another game of the week. Kamani Vidal, as I mentioned, coming off a great game. The Colts, Indiana Jones, Jonathan Taylor, they're doing the thing right now. They are just lighting it up. The defense for the Colts as well has been okay. It's been there. They've stepped up when they needed to. They had, I think, a turnover last week against Jacoby Brissett. Obviously, Justin Herbert's a better quarterback than Jacoby, so who knows if they will be able to get him into any turnovers. I'm going to take the Colts in this one, and obviously being the underdogs, give me the points.
Yeah, you're not really having much of a home field advantage if you're the Chargers because, do we really know a Chargers fan? I've never met one in real life in the wild. Maybe one. Yeah, well, Gage knows one, so, there's one there. But the Colts have played really well, have played above what everybody thought. Some people thought that they may be one of the worst teams in the NFL. That obviously is not the case. Daniel Jones has had a resurgence. Jonathan Taylor also is having a great season so far. He may be an MVP candidate. Now, of course, we know that's a quarterback's award and everything, but he should get some votes for MVP this year the way he's played. He played great, really good. On the other hand, the Chargers, they beat the Dolphins last week barely. A last-second field goal. Ladd McConkey had a pretty good game. Quentin Johnston, we used to call him Stonehands, had a pretty good year. I don't think he played much last week, did he? Was he out last week, I think? Is he supposed to be back this week? Because that could change some things. I don't know. But they're missing some running backs for the Chargers. The Colts have already played out in L.A., and they should have won that game against the Rams if it wasn't for some silliness by Mitchell going into the end zone. I'm going to go with the home team in this one. Give me the Chargers to win. And, of course, they're going to cover because they're the home team. Oh, actually, no. Why would I say that? They're the favorites. The Chargers to win this one. I think that they cover. Gordo has the Colts in this one with you, Gage.
An injury update, Quentin Johnston practiced fully today. So it looks like he's in practice.
So I feel better about my pick. Fun fact for this one, no team has punted less through 6 games than the Colts. 10 punts, lowest through 6 games since 1950. Near unprecedented efficiency. They lead the NFL in scoring 32.3 points a game. Daniel Jones has a league best QBR at 79.9. Who would have thunk it? We laughed. One of us on this podcast just completely trashed this move in the offseason.
Who would that have been? Gordon.
Yeah, it's Gordon. Man. Our next matchup, this one looks pretty good too, actually. The New York Giants travel to Denver to face the Denver Broncos at 4:05 on CBS. Denver's a 7.5-point favorite. Gage, what do we think here in this matchup?
The Giants coming off a pretty impressive performance, knocking out their division rivals, the Eagles, on Thursday Night Football. Cam Scatabo with the hat trick. Jackson Dart looking very nice as well, but it's going against a tough Denver defense. And I think the Denver defense is going to be what keeps them in this game. So give me the Broncos, but I'll take the Giants to cover that 7.5.
Yeah, the Giants are fun now to watch, right? Jackson Dart, Cam Scatabo out there looking pretty good, fun guys out here headbutting each other after the game without their helmets on. I mean, CTE at its finest up there in Jersey right now. The Broncos coming off of a ugly win last week against the Jets. They kind of maybe should have lost that game, but the Jets were the Jets. Nah, it wasn't good. I think this is going to be a fun game here, kind of, just because the Giants are fun, I think, right now. But I don't think the Giants will win this game. I think the Broncos win, but I think the Giants cover. I'm with you on that one. And Gordon also has the Broncos winning. Fun fact, Giants rookie Jackson Dart has rushed for 50 yards in each of his first 3 career starts. Only Lamar Jackson and Jalen Hurts have achieved that since 1950. No Giants quarterback has ever rushed for more than 200 yards in their first 4 pro starts. So if he can do that on Sunday, he is in historic. He's made history for the Giants.
Which isn't saying much.
The next matchup, the Green Bay Packers. Gordon's Green Bay Packers travel to Zona to face the Arizona Cardinals at 4:25 on Fox. Green Bay is a 6.5-point favorite. Gage, is Kyler Murray playing Sunday?
That's what I'm looking at right now. The headline, Cardinals quarterback Kyler Murray limited. Also, Marvin Harrison Jr. in concussion protocol. So
Battlefield 6 came out a few weeks ago.
I don't remember what game it was, but I did see that. But wasn't he a Call of Duty player?
He was, but I mean, I'm sure he plays Battlefield too.
I'm sure he does too. I don't know. I could never get into Battlefield. I was always a COD kid and never Battlefield. But Marvin Harrison in concussion protocol, if he doesn't play, Jacoby Brissett might be screwed. Kyler Murray might be screwed. I don't know who the quarterback's going to be. I don't know who the wide receiver 1's going to be. But I know who it's going to be for the Packers. Jordan Love's out here slinging the rock. Give me the Packers in this one. Let's make Gordon a little bit happier from last week in our pick. 6.5 is a spread. I think Jacoby actually did well last week against a tough defense. Packers defense is right there with Indy. Give me the Cardinals to cover this.
Yeah, Marvin Harrison Jr., we talk about him all the time. You know, he wins the Kyle Pitts Award last year, and he may win it again this year. That would be the guy with the most potential who is going to have a breakout season but never actually has a breakout season. But if he's injured, I mean, I guess you got Trey McBride maybe. DeMarcado running back. Is Michael Carter playing this week? Does it matter? Jacoby Brissett quarterbacking. Like you said, we know who we got on the Packers side over there. Josh Jacobs ran all over the Bengals, which, I mean, it might be a reflection on the Bengals defense now that we think about it, the way Jalen Warren ran over today too. But anyways, I think the Packers win this one. I think that they cover this spread, actually. I think they win by a touchdown. Give me the Packers. And Gordon picks. Oh, who does he pick here? He does not have a pick in for this game. Oh, just kidding. He's got the Packers in this one as well. Go Pack, go, he says.
I think if he doesn't have a pick in, we got to give him the Cardinals.
That'd be great. That 1 week he didn't send the Colts in. So, fun fact for this one, the Packers are the only team to have held double-digit leads in every game this year, but let teams back in more often than not. In their last 3 wins, they had double-digit leads, only to see them trim to 1 possession in every case. The next matchup, an NFC East matchup. The Washington Commanders, coming off of that loss on Monday night, travel to Dallas to face the Dallas Cowboys, also coming off of a loss on Sunday. 4:25 on Fox. The Commanders are a 1.5-point favorite on the road. Gage, what do you think about this one here?
At Cowboys, this is going to all depend if CeeDee Lamb's playing. I'm under the impression he is playing. He has a fantasy projection and he was limited at practice. Those are all good signs compared to the past couple weeks where it's been complete nothing. I think the Cowboys get back on track this week. We've already seen what their offense has done without CeeDee Lamb, and now you put him back on the field with the menace George Pickens. All right, well, who's going to stop him? Who has a defensive backfield that can stop these two? I don't know if any team does, and it's definitely not the Commanders. Give me the Cowboys in this one, and obviously they cover.
Wow, so a little bit of an upset here. The Commanders the other day, they haven't looked right this year. I know that they had Marcus Mariota for some of the season. They traded away Brian Robinson. They've got Bill Crosby Merritt back there running. He didn't have that much of a good game the other night. Debo played pretty decent. Zach Ertz is still in the league. Didn't really remember he was on that team. Luke McCaffrey, they've got him over there. The Cowboys got weapons. Even when they don't have weapons, they still got weapons. Dak Prescott has made himself an MVP candidate this year with what he's got, with what little he's got. He's throwing to some guy named Flournoy out here, I think.
Or as I called him last week, Flour Now.
Flour Now, Fluoride, anything. But the Cowboys are fun to watch, though, offensively. Now they can't stop anybody. I don't know what the over-under is on this game, but I would definitely take the over. But I think the Cowboys win this game as well. I'm with you, Gage. I think that they win at home in a high-scoring game. Give me the Cowboys. Gordon is rolling with the Commanders in this one.
Oh, okay. So he's a little bit different than us. All right. You mentioned the over-under. According to ESPN, 54.5.
Ooh, that's high. But I think the over would hit in that one, actually.
Yeah.
So the fun fact for this game, the 2025 Cowboys are just the sixth team in NFL history to score 175 points through 6 games while winning 2 games or fewer. Dallas is dead last in total defense, giving up a 411.7 yards per game passing defense. Yeah.
If only they had a star defensive player or something.
You know, they should probably trade for one.
Yeah.
A good edge somewhere.
Yeah, they don't have much of a pass rush, so.
But if they had one, watch out. Our next matchup, we had the Sunday Night Football, and it's the Atlanta Falcons traveling to San Francisco to face the San Francisco 49ers. 8:20 on NBC. San Francisco is a 2.5-point favorite here. Gage, what do we think about this one? George Kittle may be back?
George Kittle might be back, but the Falcons are coming off a very impressive win from the Buffalo Bills. One that probably no one thought would happen. It did happen. But it all starts on the ground. It starts with Bijan. If he gets going, you're going to have a successful night. If he gets bottled up the first couple of drives, you know you're in for a tough night and that Michael Penix has to throw a lot. The 49ers side, George Kittle might be back. That's cool. Who's the receivers for Mac Jones? Kendrick Bourne? Yeah. That's about it. He was the only player last week to go over 100 yards and not score a touchdown. 6 players went over 100 yards last week. Like I said, he's the only one to not score. Maybe he'll get in the end zone this week. I think he does, and I think he'll help cover that spread. Give me the 49ers in this one, and I think they cover as well.
Ooh, well, the 49ers last week played Tampa Bay in a battle of which team could have the more injuries for the season. And Tampa Bay won that one right there. But a big key loss for 49ers. Fred Warner, their quarterback of their defense, linebacker, is out for the season now. And that's probably a bigger loss to them than even Nick Bosa was.
Yeah.
Because Fred Warner, controls traffic on that side of the field. I think that's a really big loss. It's going to hurt them. Kyle Shanahan looked pretty upset at halftime when they were talking about it. So I think he knows that he's just lost his captain over there on defense. The Falcons, on the other hand, utilize Bijan Robinson a little bit more. Look what happens. Like, man, Kyle Pitts even caught some passes out there. Welcome back, son. I think the Falcons go into San Francisco, and I think the Falcons pull the upset off. They win this game right here. Give me the Falcons. Gordon also has the Falcons, but he also has which team shows up for the Falcons. It's a really good question. Nobody knows. Fun fact, the Atlanta Falcons lead the NFL in pass defense, while San Francisco leads the league in pass offense. This will be a matchup of number 1 versus number 1. Who will pull out the win?
Maybe Mac Jones needs to be the starter for this team.
Maybe so. I mean, I think in our system anyway, system quarterback either way.
Yeah, but who are you paying more? Brock Purdy? Yeah, he's going to be the starter, but if you didn't pay him, maybe you'd have a lot more depth at positions that you always get hurt at every freaking year.
Kittle may be coming back, but I mean, it's only a few more weeks until he's out again, right? It's only inevitable with these guys. They can't stay healthy. Is it the trainers? Is it the water in San Francisco? What's going on out there with these guys?
Couldn't tell you, but something's happening. And Kyle Shanahan is just like, I don't care. We got this guy here off the street that he'll go in and have 11, 12 tackles or 7 catches for 70 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah. But I think the Fred Warner thing is actually going to hurt them quite a bit. But Sunday night game, that's a Sunday night game. We head to Monday night. We got a doubleheader on Monday night. And let's start off with a good one here. The Tampa Bay Bucks travel to Detroit to face the Detroit Lions at 7 o'clock on ABC/ESPN. Detroit is a 5.5-point favorite here. Gage, what do we think here? Think that spread's a little high?
I think that spread's a little high, but I think it takes into consideration that Baker Mayfield is throwing to Tez Johnson and Cameron Johnston, I think is his name. It's difficult. I mean, the Lions, we know how good their offense is most of the times, unless it's against the Kansas City Chiefs. And that defense, as we mentioned, took a hit. Brian Branch will not be in for this game. However, we know who the MVP chants go to. We know that Baker Mayfield knows how to bake. If this was last year, we'd be going with the Lions and going with the hometown favorite. But it's not last year. This is 2025. Anything can happen, and something's going to happen to Detroit. Give me the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as the underdogs to go in and win against the Lions. And obviously, they cover the spread.
Detroit coming off of a loss last week against the Chiefs. They did not look good at all, actually. Maybe that was Kansas City. Maybe not. Maybe it was Detroit. Maybe they're not as good as what we thought. Maybe they are like they were week 1 when they got beat down by the Packers. Baker Mayfield, MVP candidate. Awesome. Doesn't matter who he's got out there throwing to. He looks really good. He looks really comfortable this year. We've picked against, we've hated on the Bucs quite a bit because of Baker. But, man, I think we're coming around, both of us here. So I think that I'm going to go with the Lions in this one. I think that they win, but I think Tampa Bay covers. Tampa Bay can't win every week with all their players out. And I think they drop this one here to the Lions. The Lions are going to be hungry for a win. They're wanting to prove a little bit of a point, but I think it's a close game. But Detroit wins. Gordon also has Detroit in this one.
Dang, I'm out here on the island.
You're out there on the island. Fun fact, Detroit edge rusher Aiden Hutchinson returned from a broken leg, set a Lions record with 5 straight games with a sack and 4 with a forced fumble. Leads the NFL in total pressures with 24.
His PFF grade is probably a 40.
Probably. Man, so our last game of the week, we've got the Houston Texans travel to Seattle to face the Seattle Seahawks at 10 o'clock on ESPN. Seattle's a 3.5-point favorite. Gage, this is a game that nobody's watching unless you're out west. Who we got?
Yeah, this is a hard game for me specifically because going back to the fantasy stuff, I have the Texans defense. What else do I have? I have Zach Charbonnet. What else do I have? I have the Colts defense. Well, what else do I have? Kamani Vidal. I don't know what to do anymore. The way that Seattle's offense has been, Jackson Smith and Jigba is looking like Cherry Rice, Julio Jones, and Antonio Brown all put into one, and I'm not for it. This was not supposed to be like this. Sam Darnold was not supposed to have a good year like he's having, and it's happening. I think this is all Seattle. We know how good the defense is for Texans, but I think Seattle just has too much firepower. Give me Seattle in this one and give me them to cover.
Man, I thought you might have went Houston's way, but yeah, they're coming off of a bye last week. The week before they beat Baltimore down. Blank Tennessee the week before that. Seattle, they go to Jacksonville, beat the Jaguars after beating the Chiefs the week before that, the Jaguars. Seattle's looking really good. Like you said, Smith and Jigba had a great season so far. They traded DK away because they felt comfortable enough to put Smith and Jigba as the number 1, and it has paid off. Sam Darnold, system quarterback. I don't think so. I think he's actually found something. He's, pretty good out there. What was it he was calling himself? Oh, no, that was an AI thing where he's calling himself the Ginger Jesus. But, hey, I still like the nickname for him. But I think that Seattle also, I'm with you here. I think Seattle wins this one. I think Seattle covers. This may be one of the tougher defenses they've played so far this season, but I think Seattle ultimately comes out and they win this game. They look pretty good. Smith and Jigba has a pretty big game once again. Sam Darnold, too. And Gordo has the Texans winning. He said, I know the last game is in Seattle. Texans off of a bye, and the defense is rested. Going to give Sam fits is what I'm thinking. Maybe so. Fun fact for this game. Seattle's Jackson Smith-Njigba is now leading the NFL with 696 yards already. The highest wide receiver yard was what did I write down? He's the only player with at least 100 yards in back-to-back games 3 times this season.
Nice.
So that is it for the picks there this week. Gage, not a bad week for us last week overall. One of us went 5. Hey.
I am a Steelers fan. 500 is my team.
You said it. So, really good night of football tonight. Amazing night. Awesome. Great game on Thursday Night Football. Just a wonderful, wonderful time. Great. I can't say enough about how awesome that game was there for Thursday Night Football. The best Thursday Night Football game so far on Prime this season. Maybe the best game of the weekend. Maybe a Game of the Year candidates. Just all the way around, Oh, yes.
You know what's going to be real fun, though, is come the end of Week 18 when Pittsburgh wins the division, gets a home game in the playoffs, and Cincinnati's not even in the playoffs. So
I'm back on board. Joe Flacco is going to lead us to the promised land, just like he did the Browns.
Let's flash back real quick last week to this was the worst trade ever. Yeah, we got Joe, but it doesn't matter. This guy can't run. He's going to get killed behind this O-line. I feel like those are all quotes you said. I don't know, though.
I don't know. We should go back and look and see. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they're not in there anymore. I don't know. Maybe somebody's edited them out. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe I didn't say them at all, and it was just a figment of yours and Gordon's imagination.
You know what? I wouldn't put it past you to go back, re-edit the video, and re-upload it.
Cut it as a short and be like, never said it. Where's it at?
There is one thing I want to touch on quick before we end the podcast. You and I talked about this during the Steeler-Bengal game tonight. PFF, Pro Football Focus. I made the joke about Aiden Hutchinson because I forgot when I said this. After the Browns-Steelers game, everyone, PFF grades everyone by what scale? I honestly don't know anymore.
They make it up.
TJ Watt against the Browns. 6 pressures, 2 pass breakups, 5 tackles. That's a pretty good game. Didn't get a sack, but still a pretty good game. Actually, I think he did get a sack or half a sack, something like that. PFF grade, 84.9. I mean, a perfect grade is like a 99, I'm pretty sure.
Isaiah Rodgers had one.
Yeah. Who was that against again?
I can't remember. Some Jake Browning. I don't know. Some team. I don't know.
On the opposite side of TJ, Alex Highsmith. 2 pressures, half a sack. PFF grade, 84.5. Just under TJ, not nearly as good a stats, so that 0.4 of a differential I think should be a little bit higher, but it's okay. Miles freaking almost got you, Garrett. 1 pressure, 2 assisted tackles. PFF grade 89.8. It's obvious. PFF doesn't like the Steelers. It makes 0 sense. Also, Broderick Jones, who was pass blocking against Myles Garrett almost the entire night. According to PFF, Broderick Jones received both his worst overall grade of the season of 42.4 and his worst pass blocking grade of a 16.4 of the season from PFF. They had him charted as allowing 1 quarterback hit and 31 pass blocking reps. Not sure what I could say about that other than it makes very little sense. I want to know the PFF scale and even like the primetime intros, Sunday night, Monday night, they do the player intros, and at the bottom of the screen it says PFF rank. Yeah. 93rd out of 141. Where do you get that grade from? And how was a starting left guard 93rd out of – there's only 32 teams.
Yeah. So, look, this is what I think we should do right here.
Okay.
Anybody watching this podcast right here, at the end, if anybody can get in touch with somebody from PFF, have them come on here and explain their grading system. Let's get it to happen. Some point in time during this podcast, we get somebody from PFF to explain to us their grading system and see how they can explain themselves for some of these grades that they put out there for PFF.
You know what? I agree. I extend the invite as well, and I'll be cordial. I'm not going to yell at you that much. And I think it could be a good time. So PFF, answer the emails, Give us a phone call, send a smoke signal, do something. We'll send you a link to get into the show here.
Yeah. I'll reach out. I'll start reaching out this week, and we'll see. We'll see what we can get done here. We'll get somebody on here eventually and explain yourselves. That's all we're asking. No hostility.
And we could turn it into a YouTube short. It doesn't have to be long. Just give us like a 3 to 5 minute speech about how the hell you guys grade. But, it should be fun.
Yeah, I mean, and look, there's no hostility. There's a Bengals fan and a Pittsburgh Steelers fan doing a podcast together, and we're getting along just fine. So if we can bring in somebody from the outside, we'll treat you all right. We just want to know.
Yeah, we just want to know, and we want to know, me especially, what you guys have against Pittsburgh.
See, so explain it to Gage. Let him know what's wrong with it. Maybe it's because Jones is out here tackling Aaron Rodgers after the game. I don't know.
No, it was after the Pat Fryermuth 62-yard touchdown that we scored on. And you know what? Even if you don't want to come on the show, you don't want to show your face. That's perfectly fine. I'll leave you my phone number. You just call, leave me a voicemail, I'll record it, and I'll play it for the show. There's a lot of ways we can get around this.
We can get around it. We can make it happen. Just they've got to be the ones to accept the invitation, and there will be plenty of invitations.
Absolutely. I think, let's see, there's 2 of us. There's 7 days in a week. If there isn't at least 12 invites by the end or by the next time we record, I think we're not doing our job right.
Right. Gordo, if you're watching the end of this podcast, you need to reach out as well. So let's do it. And before we get off here too, I want to thank everybody for subscribing to the channel. We have reached over 1,000 subscribers on this channel right here. Thank you to everybody. That is crazy how much we've grown over the past few months. We've been doing this here for 2 years now. It's our 3rd season doing it. But over 2 years, the pick'ems and everything in football and, throw a little basketball, a little bit of baseball and stuff in there. But yeah, man, over 1,000 subscribers, a big deal right there on YouTube.
It's insane. And even we know there's people that don't watch the YouTube videos. They watch on Spotify, Apple, iHeart, Amazon, anywhere else where the podcasts are available. And they're following on there. They're liking the show. Hopefully rating it 5 stars on whatever platform they're using. Anyone that watches this, YouTube or not, we are so thankful for it. And at least for me, I don't know for you, but when I reached out to you on, I believe the website was matchmaker.fm for podcasters. And I was like, hey, I just want to do this. I didn't expect it to go multiple seasons. I didn't expect it to turn into this big thing that we have growing. And now a sponsorship from Dubby, it's turned into something that is really enjoyable to do. And I'm so grateful for everyone that watches and likes and subs and comments and tells me how bad my fantasy team is.
Absolutely. And we'll take all them comments that we can get. Like I said, comment negatively, comment positively. As long as you're commenting, we don't care. You're watching the videos, you're commenting on our stuff. It's fine. I can take criticism. It does not matter to me. All I know is that the Bengals won tonight, and it was a great day to be a Bengals fan. Hoo day. And we'll catch you all next week.
Later.